your makeup artist friend Kat here. Today we're going to do a character with horns, who is very short, but is of Phil from the movie Hercules. We're doing another Hercules makeup in this series. Phil is played by Danny DeVito and he's half human and half goat. Phil is probably one of the best mentors in the Disney films. I feel like Disney films need more mentors. I can't think of many other Disney films that have them, but Phil is definitely the one who teaches Hercules how to become a hero. So today I decided to turn into him and then do another makeup. This is going to be another two-parter where I paint Pegasus, biting Phil's beard, who is Hercules' sidekick. So let's get started with the makeup. First of all, I'm just getting my hair out of the way, and I not only did that, but I put it in a low braid because we're going to put a bald cap on later. And if you need to know, yes, I am wearing clothes, even though it looks like I'm not. It's a sleeveless top, but we're going to put this bald cap on. Once you make sure the bald cap fits on your head, I'm going to get some really tiny cuticle scissors and start cutting the edges of the bald cap to fit my head and around my ears to make sure that some of my ears will show because we're going to glue on other ears later. Once your bald cap is all fitted and cut, we're going to get some prosaide with some Q-tips and put it around the edge of your hairline, but not on your hair. Please do not get this on your hair. Prosaide will actually rip your hair out. I've known from sad experiences when I first started effects makeup. So I'm putting it around my hairline. Don't get it too close around your ears. On your hair again, please don't. But I'm just fitting this bald cap around my ears very, very carefully. If you need someone else's help for this, that would be great. Then I'm making sure it's completely dry before getting some liquid latex with a red stipple sponge. Stippling the edges to make sure it seamlessly goes into my skin, as weird as that sounds. I want the bald cap to look like it's attached to my face and I'm actually bald. So this is gonna make it look like it blends in with my skin. Once that's on and dried, I'm gonna get this nose prosthetic from mostlydead.com. This is one of their character noses that has an upper lip. It's huge. It's a foam latex prosthetic from Berman's Laboratory, and I'm making sure to put some prosaide on that prosthetic and on my face to make sure I apply it really seamlessly. And speaking of seams, I'm going to go in with a Q-tip and some more prosaide to make sure all those seams are glued down. Then I'm going to get some prosaide on these horns that I also got from mostlydead.com. Since Phil is known to have horns, he has quite the attitude, but he's very smart. So with the stipple sponge again and some liquid latex, I'm going to stipple the edge of this nose prosthetic. Make sure to not get this in your eye or on your eyebrows. And once you have that flattened, we're going to make sure it's completely dry before getting the red stipple sponge again with even more liquid latex and putting that all over both prosthetics. This is going to give it a layer to help protect it from any other makeups that might not work with foam latex prosthetics, and it's going to make the makeup adhere and apply easier. Then I'm going to get some prosaide cream with a makeup spatula to get any cracks and crevices that might be on the prosthetic, making sure that's completely dry, which might take a while. Before getting the red stipple sponge again, but this time with prosaide. This layer of prosaide is going to make it super sticky and tacky as a barrier for the makeup to stick very well. It's going to make the makeup applying process so much easier. We're going to make sure that's completely dry before we get some Mauve Pax paint with a disposable makeup sponge that I cut in half so it's easier to apply the makeup. They're a lot smaller so that you have more control over how much makeup you put in little cracks and crevices, especially on these horns. And as you can see, we're putting it on the nose prosthetic as well in that upper lip part. This is going to make our character look more realistic and like there's blood flow underneath the face paint that we're going to put on top of this, like the noses are actually part of his face. Making sure that's completely dry before getting some more Mel Pax paint with my skin tone on the nose, the tip of it, and then switching between that and the mauve to make it look bright red. Like when you have a runny nose and your nose is still red and chapped from blowing it so many times. As you can see, we're also putting the skin tone around that nose, around the tip of it I should say, on the rest of the prosthetic over that Mauve Pax paint we did before. Once you have enough of that skin tone on the nose prosthetic, we're going to move on to a Raven color Pax paint onto our horns, but not put it all over the horns. We're just doing it in strips. Since Phil has lines of dark brown almost and like that red color peeking through in stripes on his horns, Once you have those paints on and that they're dry, we're going to move on to my CoverGirl Outlast Stay Fabulous 3-in-1 foundation. This precise color matches so well with the Mel Pax paint. It's in the color Buff Beige. With a Morphe full coverage face foundation brush, I'm putting that all over my face, making sure all that Mel Pax paint is absolutely, positively, completely dry, because we don't want it to ooze into this foundation before going more into that foundation on the rest of the bald cap. My bald cap is plastic, so it's a lot easier to put multiple layers on and dissolve the edges. And then I'm going to get some full coverage concealer with some Tarte Shape Tape on the bottom of my circle eye bags and on my eyes, blending that out with a brush, and then powdering it down with some translucent setting powder. We just powdered the eyes because on the rest of the face, we're going to get a beauty sponge with some tan bronzing cream on the sides of my face and in the sockets of my eyes, just to warm up his skin a bit. Then I am going to get my Poise Cosmetics multitasking creams with a black stipple sponge to do some stubble. These creams are so great because they're not too loose and creamy, so they'll smear, but they're just perfect enough to do the stubble on his face. And then with the angle brush and some brow creams from the same Poise Cosmetics multitasking cream set, I'm going to start painting on his unibrow. Phil has this really cute, very thin unibrow. With the angle brush, it's going to give you enough control to do feather-like motions. I was going to lay some fake hair as his brows, but they're so thin that putting hair won't really make a difference. Putting that much effort and work into it for such thin eyebrows, it's like, why not just paint them on? Then I'm getting the same cream paint that I used to contour my face with a brush, and I'm going to contour his nose. His nose might be really big at the tip of it, but it's a lot thinner at the bridge of the nose. And I'm doing some lines and crow's feet around his eyes. Then I'm going to get some cream blush and put that on his cheeks and blend it out with a damp beauty sponge. With the same cream blush, I'm going to put that on his lips just for a natural lip color. Putting some mascara on his lashes because some of the foundations might have colored them. I'm powdering my face a little bit before getting the same brow color and doing a shadow line on the bottom lash line to make his lashes look a little bit more thick, and on the upper lash line as well. This is just going to give some definition to his eyes without look like he's wearing too much makeup. And I'm going to do some frown line marks and the marks of his three little pieces of hair still on his head at the top of it. Then I'm going to get some prosaide with a very tiny disposable makeup sponge and put that around my chin before getting this crepe wool beard that I made completely by hand, all by myself, with a very cute little curly Q at the end of the beard. I'll put a link to a video in the description box of this video on how I make beards. I went to school for it. It's one of my favorite things to do, even though it's so time consuming and messy. And then it's time to get his ears. I just got some ears that I printed off of my computer on computer paper and cut them out. We're doing ears on a budget today because when they're folded out, you can't really tell in pictures. And I couldn't find prosthetic ears long enough. And with that, we're completely done turning into Phil from Hercules in this first part of this video. Phil is such a great mentor to Hercules. I hope you guys like this makeup. It's so weird always to see me as a man in beards, but it's my favorite because it's so different than what I usually look like, of course. Turning a female into male and vice versa is so much fun. I wish I could have put on like human men clothes and gone outside as this. Phil has so much attitude and so much to say in Hercules. But stay tuned to the second part of this video because we're going to draw on Pegasus and he's going to come into play. So to draw on Pegasus, I'm going to get some white aqua paint. This is the Wolfe Brothers Hydro Color in white. And I'm just doing the outline of Pegasus' head. Reference pictures really do help for this. Draw his ears, mouth, lips, and teeth, and his jawline. It kind of looks like we're painting on the ghost dog from Nightmare Before Christmas. Was his name Zero? I think so. But once you have the white base down of Pegasus, we're going to make sure that it completely dries before getting a large powder puff with some white eyeshadow to set that white paint before getting some sky blue, light blue aqua paint to do his mane. Pegasus has this bright blue hair. He's like every girl's dream pony because not only is he a pony in the movie, but he flies and has wings. He's the perfect sidekick for Hercules. He always looks out for him. Then I'm gonna get some matte gray eyeshadow and do the outline of his nostrils and his eyebrow. and his eyeball. You can even do some outlines of his teeth as well before getting some blue eyeshadow just with my finger to paint in his eyes. I don't know why his eyeballs, like the whites of his eyes, are kind of light blue in some pictures. But then I'm getting a darker blue to paint his actual pupil. And then with the white aqua paint with a thin brush, I'm going to do the outlines of some of his hair and mane, of the blue mane he has on his head. Now with a very tiny brush and some black aqua paint, or you can use some black gel liner or any black liner, I'm doing the outline of all of Pegasus' features, his eyebrows, his eyes, just outlining his whole body to give him more detail so you can really see the smile on his face while he's biting down Phil's beard. Especially because he's a cartoon, you really want to make sure you take your time with the outline and the proportions of his face. And then I got some prosaide on the tips of his teeth and put my beard there so it's stuck there in between his teeth. And with that, we're completely done turning into Phil from Hercules if Pegasus was attacking him and biting his beard, trying to rip it off his face. Maybe he's mad at Phil for getting mad at Hercules. But I hope you guys enjoyed this makeup. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave me a comment down below on what other makeup videos you would love to see other than Hercules. I would love to know. This series has been so much fun. Thank you so much to mostlydead.com for providing the prosthetics for this makeup. I'm so incredibly thankful for them because whenever I do these crazy series, they save me so much, not only money, but they're so supportive of my work and they're so incredibly nice and their customer service is great. So definitely check them out. When I thought of this series, I thought of Phil first, actually, other than Hercules himself, and I was so excited to do him, so I'm glad I did it. But now it's time to turn back into ourselves. You guys could subscribe to the channel for more Effects Fridays, and we do Makeup Mondays, beauty makeups on Mondays, effects on Fridays, 2 videos a week for you all. We have a lot more to come in the future. I'm working my butt off on new projects that aren't out yet. If you're taking out prosthetics, don't rip them off. I would use isopropyl myricate to really get those glues off of your skin, or else you'll be wearing them for a week. All the products I use in this video will be listed down below in the description box as always. And it's time for me to go now. I need to take a shower and get all cleaned up. But I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!